What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, listen. I'm going to show you how God do you in life. You guys remember this guy? I did a story about him about 10 days ago. Guy you see up here is Robert Exantis. This guy is the guy that drove from Indianapolis, Indiana to Kentucky and did a home invasion on people he did not know, where he went into the house, snuck into the room of this little boy right here. This little boy's name is Logan Tipton, where he stabbed him to death. He attacked the sister, also the father who tried to stop him. And this guy went to court. And as the story goes, he was charged with assault at trial, but he was deemed incompetent. Well, not incompetent, but he was guilty by insanity of the murder of this young boy right here, little Logan. So he was guilty by reason of insanity, so he didn't do no time for that, but he was sentenced to 20 years. Reason why we're talking about him is last week he was released from prison, or about 2 weeks ago, he was released from prison after only serving 10 years after killing this boy. Well, it caused a lot of controversy. We did videos about it, how his ass shouldn't be out. Well, he's been out, a week? And he's locked back up. He was paroled to Florida, and he messed up out there, and now they're sending his dumb ass back to prison, where he should have never left.
Exantus was released from jail earlier this month after serving less than half of his 20-year sentence for killing a 6-year-old boy in Versailles.
Now, the case has gotten national attention. WLKY's DeAndrea Turner joins us to explain what happens next. DeAndrea?
Well, you guys, I spoke with multiple legal experts today, and they all agree this case is complex because it crosses state lines and differing state laws. But one thing that is clear, by breaking a Florida law, Ronald Exantis violated his conditions of his release. Still, there are far more questions than answers tonight.
I get he was released, from my understanding, on good behavior. Well, I think the overwhelming evil behavior that he exhibited in killing this child and trying to kill others in the same home outweighs any good behavior he could do in the next 400 years.
It's a case gaining national attention. Even the White House weighed in. Ronald Exantis killed 6-year-old Logan Tipton in Versailles back in 2015. In 2018, a jury found him not guilty of murder by reason of insanity, but convicted him of assault for injuring Logan's family. He was sentenced to 20 years, but served less than half of that.
Extremely surprised by it, but I'm so glad Florida was on the ball.
Logan's family was relieved to hear Exantis was back behind bars, this time in Florida. Body cam video shows him getting arrested on Thursday. Officials say he moved there after his release to live with family, but failed to register as a convicted felon within 48 hours, which violates Florida law. The sheriff's office says Exantis was living next door to an elementary school. While not illegal, they say it was concerning.
From what we can tell, that his probation did not specifically prohibit him from being next to a school or children, and in our opinion, that's unfortunate as well. If you have murdered a child, why would you be allowed to be around children again the rest of your life?
The Department of Corrections released Exantis following state law, but DOC officials say he violated the conditions of his release, and they're now working with Florida officials to follow the proper revocation process. Exantis' former defense attorney says returning him to a Kentucky prison could mean he be released again, this time with no supervised release.
To me, it makes no sense to just open the gate and have him leave in 8 months' time with no supervision, no one to help him. Doesn't it make much better sense for the safety of the community, his safety, everybody involved, that he be eased into society under supervision with people that can help him?
As Kentucky and Florida officials sort out the next steps, the sheriff says his message is simple.
Our hope here is that he is sent right back to Kentucky, where he came from.
Now things are still being worked out. There hasn't been a decision made if he will be sent back to Kentucky or not. In the newsroom, DeAndrea Turner, WLKY News.
He had a little more than a week of freedom, but now Ronald Exantis is once again locked up. The 42-year-old was released from prison here in Kentucky last week.
Exantis was charged with killing 6-year-old Logan Tipton in 2015. A jury ultimately found him not guilty of murder by reason of insanity, but they did convict him of assault for stabbing Logan's 2 sisters and his father.
WKYT's Kelsey Soto shares more now about why officials in Florida are now holding him in their jail.
The Marion County Sheriff's Office down in Florida said today they have been inundated with interest in this case, but the most important phone call came from Logan Tipton's family, thanking them for putting Exantis back behind bars.
Bring him all the way back.
Here's Ronald Exantis being taken back into custody just a week after being released from prison. He appears genuinely confused. Sheriff's deputies in Marion County, Florida, slapped cuffs on him for a new misdemeanor charge of failure to register as a convicted felon.
Our hope is maybe we shoulder just a little bit of that burden that the Tipton family shoulders every single day in thinking of this. And I can't imagine the horror and the sadness that ripped through that family when they realized this man was being released early.
Lieutenant Paul Bloom says the sheriff's office there was monitoring Exantis at a house in Ocala. That home sat right next to an elementary school. However, it's not a violation for him to be living near a school. They say he did, however, fail to register as a felon with their department within 48 hours. It's lined out on this paperwork he signed Monday.
Put him back behind bars where he belongs. And the outrage that we've seen from this nationally, I think stems from a few things. It stems from the seemingly loss of common sense in a judicial system in some places to turn somebody like this back out into the public.
The Marion County Sheriff's Office says they have an entire division dedicated to this type of compliance and enforcement. They aren't sure why he chose to relocate to Florida, but they are aware that he has family in the Sunshine State. They're hoping his stay is a short one.
There's consequences to actions, and I get he was released, from my understanding, on good behavior. Well, I think the overwhelming evil behavior that he exhibited in killing this child and trying to kill others in the same home outweighs any good behavior he could do in the next 400 years.
Exantis did appear in court this morning. He's being held without bond. Officials believe that this new arrest is a violation of his current parole conditions, and they're trying to work to send him back to Kentucky.
Guys, you seen it. This dude failure to register when he got out there. 48 hours, didn't do it. Got out there, hit the streets, and was doing him. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I did that story that I was talking mainly about how the justice system ain't shit and how they really don't care. And real victims of violent crimes never get the justice that should be awarded to them. And especially after the fact that they get in there, they'll get a killer, they'll have all this information, family falling out, having to be confronted with the horror again of a fateful night where they were victimized and lost a child. And then you get people that are supposed to be on your side and going to administer justice saying, yes, we know everything you're going through. We understand this and that, but nothing's done. This is the best we could do. This man killed a baby, 6-year-old boy. Could have killed more. Under some mysterious mental psychosis that they couldn't really explain. But after 10 years of not getting charged with murder, but just the assault of the little boy in which he stabbed him, and I want you to hear me. If you can, go back and look at that other video I did of this. They showed the murder weapon in the courtroom. I forgot to mention this in my last video. This little boy was asleep when he stabbed him. He stabbed this little boy so hard that the Michael Myers looking butcher knife bent and twisted. It was one of them single forged knives, the ones where, you know, it's not two pieces where the handle's attached to it. It's a single forged knife. And it was twisted and bent. How cruel is that? And he only got 10 years. Now they're sending him back and they're going to say they don't know what happens. He might get back out in 8 months because the justice system don't really want to deal with this shit. And it's just a reality out here. These people will never get real justice for what happened to this little boy. No matter how much they cry and tell their story to the media, and as sad and sick as it is, it's just the way this thing is. Criminal justice gives more justice to the criminal than the victim that was victimized. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. This guy shouldn't spend another night in jail, let alone another night breathing for what he did. And people that do this type of shit. I will see you in the next video. Take care.